September 11th, 2001. Two planes just hit the Twin Towers. The Pentagon is burning. America is under attack. And inside FBI headquarters, an agent is staring at his computer screen, hands shaking. Because 6 months ago, he flagged a report. Middle Eastern men, taking flight lessons, only wanted to learn how to steer, not how to land. That report is sitting in a database in Phoenix. Meanwhile, the CIA has intercepts, suspicious calls, money transfers sitting in their database. The NSA has travel records, visa applications in their system. If you connected those dots, just those 3 pieces of information, you could have seen it coming. But nobody connected them. Because the systems didn't talk to each other. The agencies didn't share. The data just sat there. 2,977 people died that day. Not because we didn't have the information, but because we couldn't see it. Now, what if I told you that 3 guys in Silicon Valley saw that failure and thought, we can fix this? And what if I told you they actually did? That they built a piece of software so powerful, the CIA funded it, the military became addicted to it, and it quietly became the brain behind some of the most powerful organizations on Earth. You've never heard of this company. It doesn't advertise, doesn't sell to you. You can't download the app. But right now, it's watching a war in real time, tracking threats you'll never hear about, and making decisions that will shape your life, whether you know it or not. This is Palantir, and we need to talk about it. Okay, so it's 2002. Everyone's still reeling from 9/11s. The Patriot Act just passed. The government's throwing money at anything that promises to keep us safe. And Peter Thiel, yeah, that Peter Thiel, the PayPal guy, is sitting in his Silicon Valley office with an idea. See, at PayPal, Thiel's team built algorithms to catch fraud. Like you'd try to buy something with a stolen credit card and boom, the system would flag it in milliseconds. Not because someone was watching, but because the software noticed a pattern. And Thiel's thinking, if software can catch a stolen credit card, why can't it catch a terrorist? So he teams up with a few Stanford engineers and this guy named Alex Karp, a philosophy PhD who studied in Germany and looks like he's never owned a comb in his life. These two are nothing alike. Thiel's the libertarian billionaire in a suit. Karp's the eccentric philosopher who does Tai Chi at dawn and rants about Heidegger. But they both believe the same thing. The next 9/11s is preventable. The information already exists. We just need software that can actually see it. So in 2003, they start a company. They name it after the seeing stones from Lord of the Rings, the Palantir. You know, the creepy orbs that let you see anywhere in the world? Yeah, subtle. And here's where it gets weird. Their first investor isn't some venture capital firm. It's In-Q-Tel. Ever heard of it? Most people haven't. It's the CIA's venture capital fund. Yeah, the CIA has a VC arm. They invest in startups, quietly. And they just gave Palantir a few $1 million. So let me get this straight. A company funded by the CIA, named after an all-seeing magical orb, is building software to connect every database in America. What could go wrong? Here's the thing nobody tells you about Palantir's early days. It almost died. The software was a mess, clunky, confusing. Government analysts hated it. One guy said using Palantir felt like trying to operate the space shuttle just to find your car keys. Agencies didn't trust Silicon Valley nerds, and Palantir's engineers didn't understand how intelligence work actually happened. For years, it looked like this thing was gonna flop. But Thiel and Karp kept pushing, kept iterating, and they made one decision that changed everything. They put engineers in the field. Not in some cushy office, in Iraq, in Afghanistan, in forward operating bases where bombs were going off. Because here's what was happening. It's 2007. US troops are getting hit by IEDs, roadside bombs constantly. Soldiers are dying, and commanders are drowning in intelligence reports they can't connect. They've got bomb forensics, cell phone logs, drone footage, informant tips, financial transactions, all in different systems, different formats, no way to see how they fit together. Then Palantir shows up with a platform called Gotham. And for the first time, an analyst can type in a name, and the software shows them everything. Who this person called, where they've been, who they met, what they bought, and most importantly, Who else is connected to them? Suddenly, you're not just looking at data, you're looking at a network, a web. You can see the guy who planted the bomb, the guy who funded him, the guy who built it, the guy who drove the car. And special forces teams start using it to plan raids. They'd roll into a compound at 3 a.m., grab the target, and find 3 more guys on the list. Because Palantir told them they'd be there. It worked. Lives were saved. Mission succeeded. And for the first time, Palantir had something more valuable than venture capital. Proof. So Palantir's software is working. Troops love it. Analysts swear by it. But back in Washington, the defense industry is furious. See, there's this whole ecosystem of defense contractors, Lockheed, Raytheon, Booz Allen, that have been getting government contracts for decades. They've got lobbyists, connections, executives who used to be generals. Palantir has none of that. They're a startup from California with long hair and weird ideas. And they're threatening a very lucrative system. So in 2016, the U.S. Army tries to award a $200 million contract to a legacy contractor without even considering Palantir. Even though soldiers in the field were literally already using Palantir's software, asking for it by name. So Palantir does something crazy. They sue the United States Army, a Silicon Valley startup, suing the most powerful military on Earth. Everyone thought they were insane. And then, they won. A federal judge ruled the Army had violated procurement law, that they'd rigged the process to shut Palantir out. It was a massive David versus Goliath moment. But it also sent a message. This company doesn't play by the old rules, and they're not going away. Okay, so by 2011, Palantir isn't just fighting terrorists overseas. It's being used at home. ICE, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, starts using Palantir to track undocumented immigrants. The LAPD uses it to map gang networks. The NYPD builds databases of suspected associates. And here's where things get uncomfortable. Because the same software that found bomb makers in Kandahar is now being used to deport families in Los Angeles. Civil rights groups start protesting. Activists show up outside Palantir's offices. Employees start asking questions. One engineer quit and said, "I signed up to stop terrorists, not to deport a mom whose kid was born here." But the contracts keep coming. Because here's the thing about Palantir. It works. And when something works, especially for governments, ethics become flexible. Palantir's response: "We're just a tool. We don't control how it's used." Which, okay, fine. But when your tool is helping decide who gets deported, who gets surveilled, who gets raided at 3 a.m., at what point are you responsible? By 2017, Palantir owns the defense and intelligence world. But there's one market they haven't cracked: big business. So they launch Foundry, basically Gotham's corporate cousin. And suddenly, every Fortune 500 CEO wants in. Oil companies use it to predict equipment failures. Pharmaceutical companies use it to optimize drug trials. Airlines use it to reroute flights before storms even form. It's not just showing you data anymore. It's telling you what to do. Shut down Factory 3. Reroute shipments through Singapore. Stockpile lithium, now. It's like having a crystal ball that actually works. Then COVID hits. And Palantir is everywhere. Governments use it to track outbreaks. Hospitals use it to allocate ventilators. The UK's entire pandemic response runs on Palantir. But nobody really understands how it works. It's not a spreadsheet, it's a black box. A very powerful, very opaque black box. And that makes people nervous. But again, it gets results, and results get contracts. September 2020. After 17 years of operating in secret, Palantir finally goes public. But not in the normal way. No roadshow, no CNBC interviews, no ringing the bell at the NYSE. They do a direct listing, basically just flip a switch and say, "We're tradable now, figure it out." Investors look at the numbers and they're confused. Palantir's not profitable, revenue growth is slow, customer concentration is insane, like 50% of revenue comes from the government. But the stock still skyrockets. Why? Because people aren't buying software. They're buying mythology. Palantir isn't just a company. It's the secret weapon. The thing that stopped the next 9/11s. The platform governments whisper about in war rooms. And now you can own a piece of it. February 24th, 2022. Russia invades Ukraine. The world watches in horror, but behind the scenes, Palantir's already there. Within days, they're on the ground in Ukraine, helping track Russian troop movements, optimize artillery strikes, predict supply routes. They call it AI for warfighting, and it works scarily well. Ukrainian forces are outgunned, outnumbered, but they're punching way above their weight. Part of that? Palantir. But this raises a terrifying question. When does decision support software become the decision maker? When a system says strike here and a commander does it, who's really in charge? The human or the algorithm? Palantir says they're just a tool, that they don't pull triggers. But when your tool is helping decide who lives and who dies, that argument gets harder and harder to believe. Here's where we are today. Palantir is inside NATO command centers, police departments, hospitals, pharmaceutical companies, disaster response teams, border agencies, corporate boardrooms. It's not just analyzing the world anymore. It's shaping it. And most people don't even know it exists. Palantir started with a noble mission: prevent another 9/11s, protect the innocent, save lives. But somewhere along the way, the mission got blurry. Now it's not just about stopping threats. It's about seeing everything, knowing everything, predicting everything. And the scariest part? It's really good at it. So here's the question I can't stop thinking about. When one company knows more than your government, your police, your military, and your intelligence agencies, when that company is inside every major decision being made, when the algorithm starts making recommendations that people just follow, who's actually running the show? Look, I'm not saying Palantir is evil. I'm not even saying they're wrong. But I am saying we should probably know they exist. We should know what they do, how they do it, and who they're doing it for. Because this isn't some conspiracy theory. This is real, this is happening, right now. And whether you trust them or not, we're all living in the world they helped build. If this video made you think twice, or creeped you out even a little, hit that like button and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Stay curious, stay skeptical. And maybe, just maybe, start asking who's really watching.